Spoilers, offensive content. This is Two Fat Guys Talk, episode 117. My name is Carlos.
This is Dave.
We have friends.
I'm a friend.
One's about to burp. Burp friend, introduce yourself.
That was not a burp. I thought it was coming. I apologize. And this is Kiki.
And this is Paul, erupting burning finger!
Very good. So, a little bit has happened since the last episode. The world has literally changed pretty much overnight.
Pretty much.
A global pandemic of COVID-19, the somewhat aptly named coronavirus, even though it is a coronavirus. There are many types of coronavirus.
That's probably why more people are saying COVID instead.
Yeah, it's also shorter.
It's also because the Corona drink begged them to please change it. Literally.
Yeah. Basically, the world has changed. Everyone on Earth is being advised to social distance, to isolate if they have symptoms, to isolate if they don't have symptoms. Everyone on Earth that has a brain is disinfecting everything.
Yeah.
We have had to go shopping a couple times, and there it was.
Oh God.
Do you want me to edit that out, or are you good?
I'm okay.
Everyone on Earth, I'm just going to disinfect the mic here. Everyone on Earth has had to disinfect everything. We've been shopping, and we disinfect like fools, making sure everything gets wiped down with no mind to what might be inside.
Pumping gas. It even says there when we were pumping gas the other day to grab a
paper towel
from there to grab the handle. So we had to do that, and we still disinfected it and our own hands anyway.
There's some good to this. Gas prices have plummeted.
Except that's crashing our economy.
Yeah, it's fine.
No, it's not.
Hey, I want my 60-cent gas. My 60 cent per liter gas, please.
It also means that our provincial budget is fucked.
Yeah, it is, but the oil industry will rebound because they have $8 bazillion. So I'm not too scared for them. I'm scared of them lying about the problems they face and making us pay for it.
I'm more worried about the employees.
Well, there's them too. The problem is big businesses will try to use us to underwrite everything because they don't want to take risks because capitalism. But that's not what we're here for. We're not here to talk bad about the world. We're here to gather online to talk, just have a fun friend podcast.
You know what's fun and friendly and fancy free? How so many internet, I don't want to say internet sensations, but like YouTubers and stuff like that, they're making like such great videos online just to stay positive. An Edmonton couple actually who like made that really cute catchy song where it's like to stay inside in quarantine and stuff like that. The isolation groove.
Yeah, the isolation groove song.
And like that's so cute. And like so many people are doing stuff like that. It's just like, look at that. That's a positive, nice, warm happiness to everybody.
We have been seeing a lot of inventive ways that people have been using this to their advantage. A lot of ways that people have been taking advantage of the situation, realizing that this work from home thing doesn't have to stifle our ability to be creative. It's good stuff, really. Like there have legit been certain advantages to this. We're learning that every company that has been saying you can't work from home is lying.
Has lied so hard.
Many jobs can be done from home, arguably should be done from home, and it's teaching us a new way to live. It's too bad about all that death and healthcare problem issues and overrun hospitals and shit. But
back to positive.
Back to positive. Things have been good.
I was going to say, if you think it's bad now, you should have been... I'm glad we weren't there back in 1918 when the 1918 flu was killing people left and right, and they didn't have social distancing back then.
Well, I'm just glad we have the internet. That's what makes it bearable.
Yeah, we need our memes.
Except it's funny you say that, Poe. One of the things I've been very interested in is a lot of paperwork that's actually popped up from the 1918 plague. And guess what? The ones out of Vancouver, they were practicing social distancing, and it's right on the old stuff. They
People are
were.
like some researchers are actually using that old World of Warcraft blood plague phenomenon to actually research this as well to find a way to combat this. And speaking of the 1918 flu thing, I actually did like watch that video series on the Extra Credits channel that was talking about the history of the 1918 flu because that's a channel I like to frequent now and then too, about their history, mythologies, and like talking about game mechanics and stuff. Keeping positive.
Yes, positive. Learning is an important part of this.
Because as Mad Mon said to the Teen Titans, those who fail to learn from history are doomed to repeat it.
Well,
Winston Churchill.
I was gonna say.
No,
That's
I
it.
credit it to this fictional cartoon character. That's who I go get all my quotes from.
I'm gonna put my foot down at that one.
Cartoon characters have had great quotes. Don't you remember that wherever you go, there will always be garbage?
That was a pretty good quote.
It's a good quote. That's from Digimon.
I
the
say
dub.
that. I say that all the time, though.
Yeah, and it's true. There will always be garbage, no matter where you go.
I'd be like, "Oh, look, this is so nice." Except there's fucking garbage here. Like, great.
Yeah, look at all this nice, but a litter basket. Fuck this planet.
God.
Oh, we're just walking along. Oh, a used needle. How wonderful.
Speaking of used needles,
Okay.
we have voicemails.
Oh, do we?
Lies.
We have voicemail. We have a voicemail.
It's gotta be from Rowan then.
It's from Rowan.
Yep.
Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying the end of the world as it is. I was wondering what pieces of media you find give the best balance of being pleasantly mindless, but being engaging enough to sufficiently distract you. I find that with a lot of mindless things I might enjoy that are good for these sorts of stressful situations can sometimes be too mindless, and that doesn't really achieve what I want in this sort of time. Things like Diablo and such don't really work, whereas I need something a little bit beyond that, but not much beyond that in terms of engagement. What works for you? I'm curious. And I hope you're both doing really well.
Shout outs to Rowan. Rowan and his friend Blue do an excellent podcast called Platforms and Pitfalls about game design. It is, quite frankly, the best gaming podcast you could listen to, in my humble opinion. I recommend taking a listen. I'll have a link in the show notes. Rowan asks us some very interesting questions about what entertainment we're finding is getting us through this, and if we think some of it is too mindless and whatnot. Who wants to start on this one?
How should we start? Like, are we talking about like TV media and then games and then like other methods or hobbies?
Anything I think he's just referring to.
Well, we can talk about what we have been doing, and then we can discuss, is it too mindless? Has that been helping us get through it? You know? You know what? I'll start. I had the itch for WoW again, and I loaded it up, and I was playing a bunch of it. I've been enjoying this latest patch, the final patch of Battle for Azeroth, and I've been doing a lot of shit in WoW, but I've also been doing a lot of personal writing and a lot of applying for jobs at places that I normally wouldn't have because... Well, there we go. This could happen anytime, folks.
Sorry. I told you. I warned you.
I've warned you.
The sudden attack.
I've also been applying for work remotely outside of where I live because, as far as I know, people are hiring remotely still. So I'm kind of hoping to get a nibble on that and bring in some extra income. I like to think that what I've been doing has been killing time and also been somewhat productive. That's me.
I'll go next. I've kind of like, I'm probably one of the fortunate people where it doesn't terribly affect me because I think it's one of my colleagues at my work mentioned it, and it's super true. They very much like myself. When I was in college and stuff, studying for exams, I wouldn't go out to the libraries and have a study group or anything like that. I would come home, close my door, and study by myself, and I was able to focus. Anytime that I was going out with a group of friends to, quote, study, they'd be studying and I'd be socializing. So for me, it was the exact opposite. So for me, working from home has been a cakewalk because when it's time to work, it's time to work. To distract myself, I have been watching a lot of Netflix in the background, specifically RuPaul's Drag Race. I find that to be engaging just because you get it so attached to these characters. But I've also been doing a lot of reading and gaming. So I kind of just balance that out with what I have to do. Like, obviously, I don't mix work and play either. So when I'm working, I'm working. When I'm done, I'm done. To me, that's engaging enough. Anytime I go to like Facebook and stuff like that, the second it gets too in my face, I just cut that off. I'm like, nope, done. Not reading that. Enough of that. So
it's probably good to monitor and take social media in moderation during this time.
yeah.
I will say that two things about what you said, Keeks. One is that you and I, we have a similar thing where we find we can work and play in the same location. That's not everyone. There is that advice of setting up a work area and a play area at home, and that works for most people. But some people can do it, and some people have no issue, and I suspect you're like that too.
Yeah. I'm just fortunate that I have a nice quiet area that I can focus on. I know there's some people who just don't have the space to do it, right? I'm just fortunate that I have my desk, as crappy and wobbly as it is. I have that, but I can focus and do what I need to do.
On RuPaul's Drag Race, while I'm not a reality show watcher, I will say from what I have gleaned, Gleam might be more appropriate for that show. If I was going to watch a reality show, that would be the one, because it's so positive and nice.
It's so positive. Like, yes, there's shade and they talk about each other and whatever, but at the end of the day, they always do build each other up.
It's an uplifting show, unlike a lot of reality shows where it's like, you're dead to us, we hope you die, leave,
my favorite season is definitely season 9. So for those of you who are listening and can't watch RuPaul, because that's the other thing too, it's not even on Netflix for everybody, depending on your country, and not even all seasons are available. So for those of you who can't see it, I apologize. But if you can, I find it to be quite entertaining. Best season, in my opinion, is 9. It's probably the most positive out of all of them, even though they do still.
Yeah, like Kiki, I do also like I'm not as entirely affected by this because I know like the most of the time what I like to do is I like to game and I like to type or watch videos or just read stuff online. So interspersed, I do like reading manga, like reading manga online. I read shit like the Disastrous Life of Psyche K or the Watamote manga, or just have like a YouTube video in the background while I'm playing, either playing WoW, also playing some PSO2, and I can't wait for that to be. I can't wait to see like what's going to happen for the PC release in the Northwest. I mean, no, Northwest.
In the Northwest, the Pacific
Northwest.
Northwest. Finally getting PSO2.
Right.
North America, I mean. And from that, I also tried a few games here and there on Steam. Like, I played some Omnibus. That's actually kind of fun physics-based game. I played a lot of Danganronpa V3. I've basically spent through the main story just to play what I think is the more fun side story, the side games, like a little board game and the dungeon crawling RPG. And I also got that game that got recently released, One Step from Eden, which combines like a roguelike with a Mega Man Battle Network style gameplay, where you're on a 4x4 grid. And you have like spells where you would have battle chips, and you're like fighting enemies. You have to take into account like where you are on your board, like hazards, rescuing hostages, fighting enemies that get progressively stronger, and fighting bosses that get progressively stronger as you go on through the road, while you get new powerful abilities and cards.
Cool.
So you kind of entertain yourself with things that make you think.
That as well. Basically, those are all the things I'm doing that's keeping my sanity. Volcano Wonderpants.
Okay. Okay.
So I think correct me if I'm wrong here, but I might be the only one here who has still been working the last 3 weeks.
No, I have.
Nope. Keeks has. I've been doing some freelance stuff. Poe, unfortunately, had to be temporarily laid off. Are you okay with that information being out there, Poe?
That's fine. It's affecting a lot of restaurant-based food industry.
Yeah. I'm still doing freelance work. I was supposed to have a full time job interview, but then the company in question paused all their hiring half an hour before my interview and
Yeah.
didn't tell me, so that I was stuck in that online interview for half an hour wondering where everyone was. That was kind of fun. I'm not going to mention which company that was, but fuck.
I won't mention which company I work at, but no, I originally we were gonna take turns coming into the office, but it was 2.5 weeks ago, literally like at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. They're like, you know what? No, everyone, we're gonna work from home. Grab what you need. Let's go. And I'm like, oh, okay. Guess we're doing this right here, right now. So I have
think
been
that's
working
great.
from home. Yeah.
I have worked from home in the past when I was working for a company that was in between buildings. So I do know about it. I'm experienced doing it, but that's not what I'm doing at the moment. So yeah, at the moment, Dave and Keeks are the only ones doing that right now.
I mean, I know for my group, I won't say what company I work for, but I do tech support for a big company. And we already had the capability to work from home, so this didn't really affect us. It was more of a, okay, we're done, go home, work from there. So our company was ready for at least us to do our work from home. The company that we support, though, was not ready in the least. And that has caused me and my coworkers nothing but a massive amount of stress, unhealthy amounts of stress, because of my team of 8. So far, 4 of us have lost our voices. Just stress sickness. We're all burned out, and in that way, there has been no support from the company other than a pat on the back, good job, and nothing actually done to help us.
Well, that sucks, but that sucks, and that shouldn't happen. But what about when you've not been working? What have you been keeping busy with?
That's just it. I've been doing a lot of sleeping because of the stress. When I'm not sleeping, though, I've been putting a lot of hours into PSO2 on Xbox One.
Oh, you're trying the North American beta?
Yep. Well, it's less of a beta and more of just the game now.
If you hear a bunch of shit happening on our end, a little sweetheart came to visit us. So
Oh, no problem. Hopefully she can't hear me, so she can't start barking.
Well, she can't see you, so she can't start barking.
But no, I mean, I put about 40, 50 hours into PSO2 during these 3 weeks. I also played that game that Poe was mentioning, the one based on the Mega Man Battle Network.
One Step Forbidden?
Yeah. I gotta admit, I think they have a great deal of work to do. This game shouldn't be out of early access.
Well, they do. This is like one of those games where they're also like putting patches for it. They do have cute names for it, like it's patch 1.2, the one with chaos control.
Oh yeah, and I'm fine with that. It's just unlike Battle Network, where you had a limited number of chips to go into the battle and you had to select things. This one adds too much and doesn't always, unless you're a master at knowing what chips are where, you don't really know the effects and they're not helping you. So
it's like you start like with a set amount of 4, and then the cards you pick up, you're like, which strategy should I go with? Do I go with a flow-based strategy? Do I go all poison?
Yeah, it's a little bit too much, and they don't really give you an easy way to access what your chips are doing from step to step.
Have you accidentally killed any hostages yet?
Oh, fuck yes.
Have you ever fucked with a shopkeeper just to see what would happen?
No, not yet.
Good choice, because if you try to kill her, her eyes turn red and she murders you. She's a very hard boss fight.
Have you intentionally tried to kill every hostage?
So far, no, but I will say most hostages die as a adverse effect of said chips not knowing what they're doing in a split second. If
Or
I
like
rescue them, it's a mistake.
If you or the other option of it's like, oh sweet, I did save the hostage. Thank you for healing me. Oh, coincidentally, I have the spell that if I kill something with it, it heals me. So I just kill the hostage after they heal me.
But other than that, like PSO2 has really been my big go-to, just because unless you're going into the story mode, it's kind of mindless action, and I've kind of needed that right now.
A good description of PSO2 is like mini Devil May Cry online.
Yeah,
that's about right.
That's pretty darn accurate, especially if you start playing some of the more physical classes.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's really been what I've needed. Having to figure out a lot of the stuff for myself because their tutorial and how to get around and get access to stuff is on a amateur level. It really sucks. I shouldn't need Wikipedia to help me.
Did you go to the trainings? Because there are trainings in the...
Oh yeah, but I mean everything from gathering to how you get abilities, which are the good abilities, stuff like
garbage.
that.
Yeah, ability fixing is kind of one of the more complex things in that game.
Unnecessarily.
Yeah. I'm enjoying it. I would pay for the game if it wasn't going to be a free-to-play kind of thing. But I don't see myself sinking too much money into their gotcha stuff.
No, I agree.
I mean, couple questions for those that have played the game for years, from what I understand. Everything from your personal space. I've been able to put down my auxiliary console and 2 items, and that's it.
Oh, because you need to have premium to have a bigger room.
Oh, so it is just fuck you, buy this or go to hell.
Yeah.
How much is it saying premium is on the Xbox, Dave?
That is a good question. I don't know.
I know in the
completely legal version you guys are playing from Japan.
Yeah. There's a 30. You can buy a 30-day premium, a 60-day, or a 90-day. You don't technically need to. It just makes doing things easier. Like the room, honestly, it's just for show. You don't really need to do anything in the room besides crafting.
Crafting or just making a home for your character.
And that's not necessary, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's not really needed, so you don't really need premium for that. The only things you would want premium for is getting into blocks. Like squeezing into blocks, I should say.
Yeah, like when a lobby is full, there's a premium area that if the regular lobby is full, people with premium can squeeze into that same lobby, just for a little extra room for them. Selling
stuff in the auction house.
Yeah, I saw that was bullshit.
Yeah, but you don't need it to buy stuff, so that's that. So you don't need it for that. I think those are the 2 big things. Oh, and if you want to do like the scratch items, which is the stupid gacha bullshit that you don't even... It's not even guaranteed if you want to get the items that you get.
I mean, fun points are good for that, and if you get star gems, I would save that for something more apropos, like in the star gem shop. But otherwise, hold on to what you got. Hold on to star gems. You don't really need premium. Premium.
And space. Item inventory space is what else it's good for.
Like in the bank.
Do you get a discount going 60 or 90 days?
Yes. I think the 90-day is the best bang for your buck. 90 days is 3,300 AC, which is about 40 some US.
Okay.
So it's
premium premium set is 1,500 A currency.
Yeah.
How do I buy A currency?
That's what
Dave is checking in real time.
That's what you use real money for. The A currency is what you use real money for.
Okay, so A currency, 1,000 AC would be 1,350 Canadian. So enough to do 30 days would be $20, over $20.
Wow, that's
I'm honestly surprised.
That's a little steep considering WoW is still $15.
That's why I'm saying the 90-day tends to be better.
How much is FF14, Keeks?
If you go the cheapest route, which is a monthly subscription for one character, it's $12.
Yeah, that's right. And you only need one character.
I only
in that
need
game.
one. You don't need another character in that game. That's the other thing about PSO that kind of pisses me off is if you want to try different classes, unless they use the same stupid mag format, you will not be successful. You are better off creating another character for that, which is fine because then you can make different characters. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just kind of annoying where it's like, oh, I wanted David doesn't have to worry about the three what are they called, successor classes just yet because those aren't released.
Level 75.
Yeah, but there's 3 classes that are not released yet.
Yeah,
Not even in the Japanese version.
No, we have them in the Japanese version.
Yeah, it's just not released yet in the US. The Hero Phantom, and Etoile.
What are they going to be called again in the US version?
We don't know yet because they haven't announced them yet. But that makes me playing those classes, if I were to go to the North America, it kind of throws me off my game because I use those successor classes a lot, like interchangeably with all my current classes. So I lost my train of thought.
It wouldn't affect me so much since I typically keep to the regular classes more than the successors.
But you should be using them for your subclasses for the most part, except Ranger. But that's why.
Argue about this some more.
Yeah, no, I don't want to actually.
I have jumped into Final Fantasy 14 a couple times, though I've been finding it pretty hard to focus on that, seeing as it's mostly storyline stuff I'm doing, and I just haven't had the focus here recently due to stress. Now that I'm on vacation for a few weeks, maybe I'll jump back into there and do more than just make sure my house doesn't get deleted.
Oh yeah, that debacle.
I'm talking in general. I'm always getting that notification. Your house is about to get deleted. I'm like, oh, time to log in. Can't let my aquariums go away.
And your beautiful location. Oh my god. I was so mad when David got his house. He's like, oh, I lucked out. I got this. Look at my background. I'm like, what? Why do you get a waterfall? That's not fair.
Right out of my off my front porch, I have a giant, beautiful waterfall in the distance.
And that was when they had added that to specific areas too. They just added that, and it just so happened to be the house where David was got a waterfall. I'm like, okay, fine.
How fucking millennial is it that we're talking about the houses we have online while we're each in a coronavirus protected bunker recording this right now?
You know what? I saw a bunch of memes, but I saw a whole bunch of like my friends in Florida and other places being like, oh, they're playing Animal Crossing right now. And it's kind of surreal because of exactly that they get to make all these friends and go outside and stuff. And we can't do that right now. So
Animal Crossing is the millennial's dream.
The digital world has it better than us right now.
Yeah, they do.
Rarely. Devimon's like, where is everyone? Because we're not crossing over to thwart his schemes. Let's check the next voicemail.
Damn it.
Oh.
Thanks for your voicemail, Rowan.
Thank you, Rowan.
You're so sweet. Your voice brings us joy, and you have a great podcast that everyone should listen to.
Your voice is so
relaxing.
Calming.
Yes, calming. Yes.
I could fall asleep to it.
That's like Carlos's voice.
You
It's
probably
very
have.
soothing.
I've fallen asleep to a lot of things.
No, the best thing to fall asleep to is Doom. That's the best thing to fall asleep to.
Yeah, I've been playing a lot of Doom on Switch, and shoutouts to Doom and Doom 2 on Switch. They added a lot of free add-ons, including Sigil. So I've been playing the Doom 2 campaign in Sigil, and it conks Keeks and our dogs right the fuck out.
Yeah, all the shotguns and screams and stuff. Sleep like a baby. 110%.
Speaking of Doom, I have been playing Doom Eternal.
Yes, I can't wait to get to it. I've been revisiting 2016. Tell us about Doom Eternal.
Well, it's an improvement in every way, and anybody who says that all the ammo just doesn't get the point.
Now, we should probably clarify. In Doom 2016, the chainsaw is mapped to its own button, and it has fuel, which you can find throughout the levels. You need more fuel to kill bigger monsters. When you chainsaw something, it one-shots them, but they basically a bunch of ammo, Kingdom Hearts style, explodes out of them that you can grab for your other weapons. In Doom Eternal, apparently, because I'm still on 2016, I haven't yet gotten to Eternal. In Doom Eternal, apparently, they have lowered your ammo significantly so that you have to use the chainsaw more often, but the chainsaw will always regenerate 1 fuel. Is that correct?
That is exactly correct. And it's been a bit of a controversy among some players that they don't like the fact that they have less ammo and actually have to use the chainsaw and think strategically. And to those people, wah.
Now, my understanding was that people weren't making use of the chainsaw in the first game, which is really weird to me because the chainsaw for me has been fucking indispensable. Not necessarily for the ammo, but to kill a fool, that is just being real stubborn.
Honestly, on my replay through of Doom 2016, I realized the first time I played through that game, I barely ever used the chainsaw. But now that Doom Eternal has it as a major factor in the game, I actually started to miss the fact that fuel respawns that one point to keep you going in Doom Eternal. Doom Eternal is also a lot harder. And
yeah, I've heard this too.
I'm loving that on normal difficulties that it's harder.
Doom 2016 is pretty hard until you get the point, which is do not stop moving for any reason, because they really drill it into you. Like even an imp fireball will cut your health in 75% sometimes, right? So you gotta keep running around and killing things and running and killing and ripping and tearing. It's a very different experience than classic Doom, but it's a very fun experience. I've enjoyed it quite a bit.
Now, the one thing I'm doing this time that I didn't do with Doom 2016 is I got through Doom 2016 in 2 days. I'm still not done Doom Eternal because I'm taking my time. I'm going back through levels, just enjoying what they're throwing at me.
Finding all the action figures.
Finding everything. Enjoying the new mechanics they've thrown in. Like, in the trailers, they made the hook shot look like it was just something that you were just going to do all the time, but it actually isn't, because it has a timer, and it's part of the super shotgun that you don't get until decently into the game. I love using it, and I wish it had just been an actual button that you trigger.
Have you used a lot of the air dash that they added?
Oh, God, yes.
They added a dash that you can do in midair. And I'm of the opinion that air dashing makes all games better. No matter what genre it is, text adventure, add an air dash in there.
But you don't have the air dash by default.
You have to earn it.
You get it like in stage 4 kind of thing.
How many stages are there?
Good question. I haven't finished, so I can't tell you the exact number, but I believe there's about between 13 and 15.
Yeah, well, there were 13 in the first game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, roughly around that amount.
And some of these levels are long.
And that's fine. They're pretty generous with the checkpoints. Like, you can't quick save and quick load like you could in Classic Doom, but generally checkpoints happen in between big encounters, which is fine by me. It works out. It's a lot of fun. It makes jumping in first person also matter with the ledge grabbing mechanic. It's good stuff.
Yeah, I've had lots of fun with it. I'm just really taking my time and enjoying what they're giving me this time.
I have been enjoying Sigil quite a bit. I think I've talked about it on the podcast before, but John Romero is just an amazing level designer. Too bad about that whole Daikatana thing. Really too bad about that. Honestly, I would love to see John Romero designing levels for a modern AAA kind of FPS in the Doom style. Sigil and modern Doom, like Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal, they gave us 2 different branches of the original formula. The new ones give us the whole ultra-violence, fast-paced action, whereas Sigil is very atmospheric. And I like that Doom has these angles and these aspects that different designers can approach, and that we haven't forgotten either as we move forward into the future.
Yeah.
Speaking of COVID. And since we're talking about games, I kind of think this is a really good time for those who wants to play games, to do so before, the nice weather hits. I think this is a perfect, if we had to be in quarantine, I think this would be a really good time.
Yeah, when it's still winter where we are anyway.
Where it's still winter. I know other places are already starting to warm up, but it's like not warm enough to hang out outside anyway. So like games are coming out right now, which you want to be doing right now. Like Final Fantasy VII's coming around the corner.
Yeah, Final Fantasy VII Remake is coming real soon.
Are you guys excited?
I am. I'm pretty excited.
I'm not getting it.
Really?
Dave has been very cynical about it. He's mad that the whole game isn't in it.
No, that's not it. Not it at all. I want to play through the entire game when I want to. I don't want to go through part 1 now, part 2 in 2 years, part 3 and 4. I'm glad they're remaking it for another generation and they're making changes and upgrading and everything else. It's just I don't feel like getting hacked.
That's fair. I mean, I was going to mention that it didn't stop not being able to play Doom Eternal 2, Doom 2016-3, didn't stop you from playing Doom Eternal now. But I get it. Those are more standalone than this. So I understand that. That's fair.
Yeah, you kind of want to wait till the whole package is ready to go.
Yeah, at least if they had a plan and told us, okay, well, we're going to be making 3 games. That would be something. But the way they're going, it could be 4, it could be 5, it could be 6 games.
It could be 1. There's still that possibility that this is some time shenanigan.
That's what you and I have been saying. Yeah,
we've been saying it. We'll see if it's true. I know some people had it early released, and Square's been telling them not to spoil anything, which I find very suspicious.
Right? Like, how are you going to spoil Final Fantasy VII, a game that's been known forever? That's why I'm like, oh no, we've got it down pat. It's time shenanigans, absolutely, hands down.
We'll see. We'll see if we go to bed a fool.
Yeah.
Go to bed a fool, then wake up to find Aerith impaled by Sephiroth again.
Doesn't matter.
Speaking of Square and Final Fantasy VII, did you hear that some Twitch streamers have lost their channels over streaming Final Fantasy VII?
Really?
This doesn't surprise me.
Is it because they were streaming early to spoil?
Yes. Now, here's my problem with this. Street Date was broken by Square in Australia and a few other places. That Square admitted that they were doing this because, they have no control because of COVID. I'm sorry, once your game legitimately hits store shelves, you no longer have any right to say that they broke Street Date just because it's coming out in other dates in other countries.
I can agree with that. They own the game. It's their property. Provided that they put spoiler notices on their damn streams, that shouldn't happen. Twitch shouldn't be kowtowing to that, but they will because that's their business.
That's Twitch. What one industry that's being a little bit fucked up by this is anime. Well, yeah, just media in general. I mean, look at how many movies have been pushed back to 2020 or 2021 rather. Now.
I was just about to ask that. I was just about to say, have you noticed that we've been talking about games and stuff, but not about like shows?
Yeah, that's because a lot of stuff has been pushed back. Like, Keeks and I are watching stuff like Brooklyn Nine-Nine because it's already this season. It's already obviously been taped, but who knows when the next one's going to happen, right? For anime, for Japan specifically, I've been hearing some rather disturbing reports that things in Japan are going to get really bad here with COVID because they haven't been doing the necessary social distancing and the necessary distribution of medical supplies to their citizens or letting them work from home. I hope our Japanese listeners and friends, Rowan, stay safe. Rowan lives there. I hope he's staying safe too. But I've been hearing some things that make me, A, not surprised that anime and games from Japan have been affected, and B, worried.
Most companies that do dubs, like Funimation, have outright stated, okay, well, dubs are done until further notice. And I mean, that leaves certain shows that Funimation's been doing only partway done and makes people worried that the shows they were going to dub for the spring seasons won't even get a dub anymore, which would be a damn shame for some of the ones that are coming out.
Or it'll at least be very heavily delayed. Like
I'm okay with delayed, but nothing's being said, which has people worried.
They might not even have an idea though, because I know for my work, in like I said, initially the plan was we were going to take rotations to come in and whatever, and like try to make it work that way. But then just all of a sudden they're like, you know what? Nope, we're just, and literally, like I said earlier, I found out the day of 1:00. They're like, nope, we're closing right now, and I'm like, oh, okay, fuck.
The world has changed overnight. We are witnessing history. This is a global crisis, and it has literally changed how people work and live over the course of 2 weeks?
Yeah.
You know what's kind of messed up though? We kind of had a head start, and we're only doing this now. Do you know what I mean?
We should have been prepared. People have been saying we've been overdue for a big outbreak, and we didn't listen.
Yeah, like this has started back in December, and we've been hearing what's been going on in China and in Europe, and it hadn't at the time hit us yet, but they said there were people already starting to get checked because they had traveled to Europe and whatever. That's when we should have been like, hey, maybe it's going to spread here just as quickly. Like, we should have done something, I feel, a lot sooner. We should have been more proactive about that. But that being said, I feel we changed rather quickly. We tuned, our tune changed rather quick.
Humanity did adapt faster than I thought they would. For the most part, people are taking this seriously, and that is legitimately helping. Like, more people than I thought all over the world are actually realize this is a threat. Of course, we have the stragglers, the people who think it's a chemtrail fucking level conspiracy, that it doesn't exist. And have you heard about people spreading that 5G is causing coronavirus? The 5G coronavirus conspiracy theory?
No.
I've not heard this.
Apparently, because China erected some 5G towers before it happened, there's some real nimrods online spreading that it's actually been 5G doing it all along, and that the 5G towers are controlling us with COVID.
Wow.
Sounds like a Republican hoax.
I mean...
And here we were making jokes about that guy that ate bat soup that caused the whole thing to happen. It's all G towers.
It's all G tower. It's all 5G towers.
And it wasn't the bats either. It wasn't bat soup.
Like, coronavirus is an animal-borne virus that's infecting us. But here's the thing. People need to realize that we're all in this together. China's like the world's most populated country. If a virus was going to come from somewhere, it was likely going to come from there. There's a lot of racism and inequality being revealed for what it is in this capitalist hell we live in that coronavirus is exposing. If any good comes of this, and there will be some good to come of it, I hope that we have taken a step back, looked at our collective societal systems, and realized that it's not working and that we need a better way.
You know what is super positive about this, though? So many people who are like, oh, we don't need to worry about so many factories and blah blah blah, because it's going to take years for the oceans and animals to readjust and blah blah blah. Literally 2 weeks, air quality's better, animals coming out from left, right, and center.
Deer reclaiming the streets.
Yeah, oceans cleaner. Like,
now,
fuck.
We should point out, Dave pointed this out to me when I was talking about the whole Waters of Venice thing. It is still slow progress, but it is happening faster than people expect. That nature is reclaiming things. And it really goes to show you that environmentalism can be a part of the way we live. We've kind of been forced to realize this now.
Well, no, it's more like people were trying to be like, no, that doesn't work. And
dismissive.
Like, dismissive. There we go.
Yeah.
And like, they're like, no, it doesn't work, blah, blah, blah. But clearly they look stupid now.
In the future of Guilty Gear, mankind discovering magic is what made them stop polluting. Now, maybe we just need to discover the backyard and then Kai, then we're good.
Man, if I found if I was allowed to have one fucking anime or whatever magic power, I want the cloud cards. Fuck that.
Okay, you know what? There's a new segment on the show called Which Anime Power Would You Have? Poe, sing the official song for this segment.
If I had the power to take something from an anime. I'd shoot the ocean water into space. That's how we solve global warming. Lower the oceans. Oh, look, there's a whale in space. It is dead.
Excellent. All right, so Keek started us off. I'll go next. I want... Does X-Men count as an anime?
Sure.
All right,
It's
I
an
want
American anime.
Yeah.
I want Professor X's powers.
Of
I've said this all the
course.
time. With that power, I could take over this rock.
But with the cloud cards, I could reverse time and take your power.
Shit. Then I guess the Planeteer rings are going to have to be it.
What? How is that better?
Because I have heart.
Oh,
I
okay.
have
What do you mean you have heart?
heart.
I could just
Give me your fucking cloud cards.
no.
That-
Excuse me.
People
That's
have
not how it works.
No, that is actually what the power of heart does. People have been sleeping on Mati for too long.
People sleep on Mati. He can make a bear kill you. Like,
What are you? Are you serious?
Yep.
yeah.
The
He's
other
controlled animals with his rings. Oh yeah, it's the weakest power. He can literally make a grizzly shred you. Like,
he can mind control you if he was so inclined to.
But has
It's
he-
too bad he is he's too pure of heart to mind control someone.
Okay, hold on. Wait. So if he can mind control animals, has he? Oh, excuse me. Has he done? Clearly he's done this to animals. Has he done it to a person though?
I don't remember, but people are animals.
Well, that statement is true. People are fucking animals. Look at this whole toilet paper situation. People are fucking animals.
Paul,
Ah, shit.
Choose an anime power, bitch.
Dave, give us a power while Poe thinks. God damn it!
I think I'd probably have to take something like creationism from Fairy Tale.
Please don't call it creationism.
You know, I chose that word just for that.
I want the power of creationism.
What the fuck?
Man walked with dinosaurs 6,000 years ago. That's my power.
What the? You didn't do nothing.
Didn't I?
Again.
Creationism, i.e., that's the Flintstones.
Again. I could do that. Guess what? Fucking card I use? The create card. I write what I want on that fucking magic book, and I got it.
I'm so glad that's not called the creationism card.
It's called create.
I love stirring up trouble.
But like, this is what I'm saying. I'm sorry, but the cloud cards are so broken, so goddamn broken.
And just think, she's not even using it for offensive capabilities yet.
I know.
When she actually starts making her own cards consciously, are they fucked?
Oh my god.
Poe, Poe, power.
Okay, hold on a
Choose
second.
one.
You thought of a song faster than you're thinking
Yeah,
of a power.
right? How did you think of that song?
It was a spur of the moment kind of deal.
Then think
And it's
of
kind
a
of partly what I
power.
wish I could do to this world to make it a little better. Unless we find a way to make salt water drinkable, I want to shoot that water into space to lower the oceans a little.
A very practical power. The ability to either purify salt water or get rid of it.
Jesus Christ. Choose a
Oh,
goddamn
okay, my
anime power.
I guess my anime power would be like subtly controlling people, like influencing how they think about what they think about, how they act. To bend it to my way.
Okay, who has that power?
I know that there's some examples of that in media, but I can't think of it at the moment.
In Young Justice, there's a character called Bad Samaritan who can do it. It's not a Professor X mind control. It's more that they can subtly affect your nature in a way that's still you, but that it favors their ends, right?
Bye.
Yeah, something like that.
Bye, little girl. Thanks for visiting us. A little pupper's just left.
Yeah, it's hard when you're put on the spot like that because it really comes down to what you've been watching recently that comes to the forefront of your mind.
No, I haven't not been watching Cardcaptor. Those cloud cards are ridiculous.
You have been reading the manga, and you've been making us read the manga.
I've
which
been
is fine.
forcing you guys. I'd be like, here's the next chapter. Here's the next chapter.
Read it now.
Read it.
Look at this. I liked how Yuna D. Kaito insinuated that maybe Lee wanted this all along to finally have the cloud cards he so desired after he didn't want them anymore.
Yeah, what an asshole.
What an asshole that guy is.
Just fucking rub in his face like, oh yeah, so this is why you did this, huh?
Oh fuck, Dave, are you caught up? Did
I'm
we
caught
spoil
up.
that for you?
I'm caught up. Don't worry.
I told you, I've been emailing it to him.
Right. Okay.
I get my card captors fix immediately.
We probably should have said yo spoiler. Or
I said it at the beginning.
Okay.
People know what I'm about.
Generally, long story short, keep the evils of social media aside and use this time to catch up to the things you would want to do, like reading or drawing or video chatting or playing mindlessly. Like, I think this is the perfect time to do so.
If you're able to stay home, stay home. If you have to venture out, just practice all the necessary social distancing and disinfecting practices you can. If you think you have COVID symptoms, please get checked out. If you live in a place where you have to pay for that, I'm sorry you live in a place where you have to pay for that.
Actually, I think a lot of places that originally were making you pay are backing down on that.
Yeah, I'm hoping so.
I think that's what I read, but I could be wrong.
Even Trump has realized that he has to start giving money to people. We'll see how far his plan goes. I hope I qualify for the Canadian one. Trudeau disappoints me, but he better give me money. I don't know if I qualify for this emergency fund, but if I do, I'm definitely using it to pay bills and buy Final Fantasy VII Remake for PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
Folks, thank you so much for listening. As always, visit twofatguystalk.com for this podcast, and it's also the home of Carlos and Dave Anime Rave, which we have not been putting episodes out of because we're still analyzing and evaluating our copyright strike dealing strategy. But still visit us. We'll still put out podcasts when we can. We have an irregular schedule. We always have. We probably always will. But we hope that we brought you some joy during these dark times. Everyone say goodbye.
Stay
Bye.
safe.
Farewell.
Bye.
Turkey.